Have you ever wondered how the United States became the world's preeminent superpower? Many believe it was a master plan of calculated ascent. In reality, the truth is far more surprising. It was a century of isolationism, a series of historical accidents, and the sheer luck of geography. From its birth, the U.S. was culturally hardwired for isolationism. George Washington explicitly warned against entangling alliances. Throughout the 19th century, the nation focused inward, tripling its landmass through deals like the Louisiana Purchase and the Purchase of Alaska. The first major accident happened in 1898. A limited intervention in Cuba unexpectedly turned the U.S. into a colonial power. Suddenly, a nation that didn't want an empire found itself with one spanning 10,000 miles across the Pacific and Atlantic. World War I was the second catalyst. The U.S. entered late, only when neutrality became impossible. By 1919, the U.S. was the world's leading industrial power, but it still didn't want the crown. It tried to retreat back into isolationism. The Senate rejected the League of Nations, and for 20 years, the U.S. watched as a power vacuum allowed militaristic regimes to rise. In 1940, the U.S. military was actually smaller than that of Portugal, but everything was about to change. The real transformation happened during World War II. The U.S. mobilized 16 million people and built an industrial machine the world had never seen. Stalin once toasted to American production, noting that without it, the war would have been lost. The U.S. was becoming a superpower through sheer output. By 1945, the global landscape was decimated. Western Europe's economy had contracted, and Japan's was cut in half. But the U.S. homeland remained untouched. While others collapsed, the American economy nearly doubled. By the war's end, the U.S. accounted for half of the world's industrial output and 80% of its gold reserves. It also held the only nuclear arsenal on the planet. The U.S. didn't just win the war, it inherited the world. The British Empire didn't hand over the keys, it simply went bankrupt. At Bretton Woods, the dollar replaced the pound as the reserve currency. After 1945, the pivot was permanent. Isolationism had failed. To fill the vacuum before the USSR could, the U.S. had to lead. The National Security Act of 1947 institutionalized the U.S. as a permanent global actor, creating the CIA and the Department of Defense. The U.S. became a superpower, not by conquest, but by being the last industrial power standing after the old world destroyed itself. Ultimately, the rise of the United States was less about a grand design and more about being in the right place at the right time, an accidental superpower that changed the course of history forever. Thanks for watching.